Hi there, I'm Lucy Kate. I'm a crochet pattern designer, and since 2015 I have been sharing all the patterns that I produce for free on my website. It's been so much fun designing and kind of like finding my own style or styles and what I like to make the most and what I'd rather avoid a little bit in future. And since 2015, everything that's gone on the website has been free, and there have been a couple of reasons that I've been able to do that. Predominantly, it's because they're not really free. So when you visit one of the web pages with the patterns on, there are ads down the side, and when someone comes to the website and looks at the ad or clicks on one of the ads, that gives a small amount of revenue to me. Therefore, I was getting paid for people viewing these adverts. But things are different. The reason that things are different is because Google has decided that it doesn't like my website anymore. Now, web publishing is a thing that I do for a job, and most of the websites that I work on and produce are animal-based. The crochet one is like a passion project, really. I decided to make a website to put the patterns on and to share them because I could. I knew how. Me and my business partner did that together, and because it made me happy to think that people were making these things, and it made the time spent more productive. And it never made a huge amount of money, but it made enough money from the ad revenue for it to be, you know, self-sustaining as a hobby, as it were. That's a real simplification, right? But let's just stick with that for now. What has happened over the last month or so is that Google has done one of their big updates where they change everything and shuffle everybody's orders around. They've also brought in a load of new features like the whole AI answering your question thing that has changed what is displayed to different people. And the upshot is that I have lost about 60% of the visitors to my website. I obviously think that that's very much unjustified, but you know, I'm me and my own person, and I make these designs so I feel personally that I like them. But you know, there is obviously some kind of numerical or analytical reason that it's decided that I'm not good enough to be shown to people who look on Google anymore, at least not very often. Which leaves me in a stinking predicament, because I want to keep making crochet designs, but that ad revenue that was funding my ability to dedicate a proportion of my time to that, and you know, I have a full-time job, I have children and hobbies and other things that I do, like all of us do, and so the justification for doing it and producing it, it becomes harder and harder for me to justify the time when I feel like it's not a valid use of my time. So here we are, and I had started several months before this to make a couple of PDFs of my patterns, because some people don't like working off a website and seeing ads when they're making it. They would rather pay a nominal fee to have the PDF, and obviously there needs to be a fee attached to the PDF, right? Because it takes a long time to produce it and test it and format it and edit it and everything like this. So that's a paid product rather than one where you're just paying by seeing adverts. And so this is a thing that I had been working through, and I'd had some lovely group of pattern testers pattern testing the donkey pattern for me. And that was ready to go up, and it was ready to go up, but we hadn't done anything working around the shop software and things like that, because it was just, new software is a headache. We just didn't dedicate the time to it. But since Google's decided that it's not a fan of me, of my designs anymore, suddenly there's this more pressing need for there to be some kind of income stream to what I'm doing with it. And I am being completely transparent with you guys about this because I feel guilty. I feel really guilty for charging for the patterns, even though the PDFs take time to make and there's lots of logistics attached to that. And obviously it's a product thing rather than a me sticking it on a website thing. I understand that there's a tangible difference, and yet it has been 9 years that I've been just giving these things away. So I kind of feel, firstly, that I need to justify myself to you in that sense. And sort of almost apologise, really, for the fact that not everything is going to be free anymore. Now, do not get me wrong. For example, the donkey, there is the paid PDF that you can pay to download, or there is the pattern that you can still follow on screen. So only some of the patterns will be exclusively PDFs, some will have options for both, and some will only ever be free. So there will always be a spread between them. But cards on the table, this is something that I kind of have to do now. So a few things going forwards, I guess. Firstly, I have always advocated to people when I've spoken to them in real life about the benefits of doing it the way that I've done it, giving the patterns away, having some web marketing that backs it up. There's less pressure when you're giving something away rather than selling it. Like if I've made a mistake and someone sends me a comment in the website saying, hey, I think, you know, round 52 is actually a different number of stitches. I'm like, whoa, so sorry about that. Pop into it, edit that. It takes 30 seconds on the website, apologize, and we all move on. Because it's not transactional. But obviously these PDFs that I've made, they have been pattern tested and checked, but there is more inherent pressure when someone is literally giving you money for something. And I don't do well with pressure. I am so bad at pressure. I'm also very anxious as a person, and so that's hard for me. But we're going to do it. And in fact, it's already done. Some of the patterns are already up there. A couple of wonderful, kind people have already bought a couple of the paid patterns. But there are a few things that I would really love your feedback on. Firstly, if you've bought one of the patterns, thank you. Phone. Shh. Firstly, if you bought one of the patterns, thank you so much for buying one of my patterns. You actually have no, I do literal stand-up happy dances when people buy them. So thank you so much for doing that. If you have bought one and worked on it, then let me know if you like it. Do you like the formatting and the style that I've been with? I would love your sort of aesthetic feedback, as well as obviously if you find a mistake, then please do tell me straight away. I'd also love to know how you feel about patterns that are in PDF format versus patterns that are like a full written pattern within the web page, because I know some people are annoyed by seeing the ads, understandably. And a lot of people also, like my best friend Sarah, who writes some of the patterns for the site too, she prints out everything. She likes to make it from a printed out pattern. So for her personally, she would always rather have the PDF version than the on-screen version like we've been producing for years. So really interested to hear your thoughts and feedback on that. And yeah, this is obviously unscripted, but I just wanted to talk to you about those changes on the site, why they're happening, have my little dig at Google. I don't know what is going on there. I don't think there's any technical functional fault with the website that's caused it to become upset. I think that they just have different parameters that they work to, and they've currently decided that what I've produced here does not fulfill some kind of criteria for what they want. But yeah, feedback on the website too, like if I'm asking you for so many favors today. But yeah, anything that you could share with me about that, and like honestly, but not too honestly, because like I said, anxious, and it's so personal. And that's the other thing before I go. When you produce and design a craft, it is so inherently personal. What people think of my patterns is like they're stripping back my skin and assessing my insides, and sometimes finding them wanting, and oh, it's not a good feeling. But you know, that's what you do when you put yourself out there, in much the same way that you do when you put yourself out there in a video. Anyway, thank you so much if you've made it this far through this very rambling, unformatted, not like my normal videos video. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about paying for PDFs? Are you cool with it? Are you... Please comment down below on your thoughts and feelings, and I will be waiting to chat to you there as well. Thank you.